Alright, what up? So, this next lesson is going to be about anger. Alright? So, check it. Anger. They pissing you off, right? Somebody has made you mad. Now, when it comes to anger, it's only 3 things we can do with anger. I like to say it's only 2 things we can do with anger, but there is a third. So, check it. With anger, you either burning bridges, setting boundaries, or it's going to be some consequences. Alright? So check it. What is burning bridges? Burning bridges. That's distance. That's detachment. Now, we don't want to have negative detachment, right? So we're looking for peaceful detachment. You know what I'm saying? So let's say somebody make you mad, right? They coming at you a type of way. It's pissing you off. So what you can do is you can set boundaries. Alright? You set boundaries. That means that I want my respect, my economical respect, or my self-respect. You get what I'm saying? But no matter what, it's a form of respect, no matter how you want to go about it. So we set the boundary first, right? Now, sometimes, depending on how hard they come, how hard they made you mad, you might not think about setting the boundaries. Now, you don't want to do that because that is what we like to call reaction. We don't like to react, you know what I'm saying? We want to respond. That's a duality. React versus respond. We want to give ourselves time to think so we can respond correctly, right? Now, sometimes the response might be a consequence. Sometimes the response might be us burning bridges, or it might be setting a boundary. But we always want to respond and we do not want to react. So, let's just say we set the boundary, right? Now, let's say our boundary gets overstepped. Now, once you overstep that boundary, I only got 2 other things I can do. Distance myself, peaceful detachment, burn that bridge, or consequences. And it's 2 types of consequences. Positive consequences and negative consequences, alright? So, let's say positive consequences, right? I gotta do what's in my best interest to make sure that my respect, that I keep my respect, basically. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure I do what's in my best interest to keep my respect. Now, what's in my best interest might not necessarily be in what's in the best interest of the other party. But it might be a negative to them, but it's positive for me. You get what I'm saying? So, put it like this. If the consequences are negative for me and negative for them, then I don't want to go about that. That's not the kind of consequences I want to set. But sometimes I got to make some positive reinforcements because if I don't, they're going to keep overstepping my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And you never know. Sometimes you might be put in a situation where you can't necessarily distance yourself or detach from the situation. You get what I'm saying? You might not be able to burn that bridge how you want. So, because you're unable to distance yourself how you want, that's what we call maintenance. Because you can't just conquer, right? We can't just conquer and just distance ourselves in this particular scenario. We got to have maintenance so we can slowly but surely distance ourselves and detach from that which is overstepping our boundary. So, we can set the consequences in a positive way by distancing ourselves strategically, alright? So now let's go to the next one. So the reason why we want to make sure that we're protecting by setting our boundaries because we want to get back to our peace. You get what I'm saying? So that's why we got this detachment, right? We want to get back to our peace. We want to detach from what's making us mad, pissing us off, and get back to our peace. Because see, when we're in our peace, we're not talking about being still, peace, be still right now. We're talking about that structure and flow. I'm trying to get back in my flow state, doing what I got to do to protect my growth. You know what I'm saying? My economic growth, my self-respect, my respect from peaceful detachment. You know what I'm saying? So this is structure and flow when it comes to this point of this detachment. Because look, check this out. If we're not in that flow state, then it's creating stagnation. And that's when flies show up. You know what I'm saying? That's them leeches. That scarcity mindset. We can't be operating from no scarcity mindset because we all about abundance, right? So, flow is progress. Stagnation, that's when the flies come. So look, that's what right here. Flow equals progress. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't bringing no progress, then what are we doing? You get what I'm saying? So, let's use an example, right? Like why we go to war, for example. People think that we go to war because it's based on anger, like we mad at them, so we're going to go to war with them. Nah. We might just want their resources. You know what I'm saying? So, because we got everything we got, and we can't be stagnant in what we got right now, we got to stay in the flow state of what? Conquering. We gotta keep taking, we gotta go take something. So through war, because flow equals progress. And if we stay stagnant, somebody gonna come take from us. So we can't let that happen. So we gotta keep getting more and more and more. You know what I'm saying? And it's also sharpening that sword. See, because stagnation creates, see, that's like a sword that's just been sitting there for a long time, it gathers rust. But a sword that's out there doing its thing, you know what I'm saying, it might be sharpening that blade, it might get dull, but it's still doing its job. You get what I'm saying? It's going to last longer than if it was just sitting there rusting away. So, sometimes it's not always, anger is not always what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? It might look like anger because we might have to do some angry things, but at the same time, it's because we got to stay in that flow state. And you know what I'm saying? We got to keep making progress. So that's economical respect. We got to respect our growth, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's our structure. We got the structure how we do it, and we got the flow state. So this is how we respond. We are not reacting. And that's when we talk about going to wars and things of that nature. And you can look at war from any point of view. You can look at war from person to person. You to getting your money, you got to go to war with that money, you know what I'm saying? You can't just, the money just not going to come. You got to get out there and stay in that flow so that money keep coming in, right? You know what I'm saying? So you got to go to work every day. You got to get to that bag. And guess what? Every day is a new battle, right? Every day is a new battle. So you got to stay in that flow state. Because if you become too stagnant when it comes to getting your bag, yeah, that bag going to wind up creeping away from you. You know what I'm saying? Because you got bills to pay. You got things to take care of. So look, this is where the maintenance come in place. We got to get in the maintenance and the structure so we can be operational, because of course we can't just conquer and get out of money unless you go rob a bank. Anybody ain't robbing no banks. So look, I don't know, that's your thing, but I don't believe that we out here robbing banks, right? So we gotta have maintenance on making sure we get out. So let's look at another form of battle, you know what I'm saying? It might look like anger, but it's not necessarily anger. Somebody get mad at you, right? They are so mad at you, right? But you can't change what you got going on, because what you got going on works for you. And if you decide to do what they need you to do, it might cause you to have to lose your self-respect. And that's going to lower your work. And if it lower your value, then you're not in that flow state no more. You're not maintaining on yourself no more. Now, you're becoming stagnant again, because low work creates stagnation at the same time. That ain't progress. Low work is not progress. Progress is high value, creating value, you know what I'm saying? So we stay in the flow. So sometimes the things that it might be making you mad, but that's making you mad, what I got going on, then guess what? Maybe you need to distance yourself from me, you know what I'm saying? Because I can't help you on your journey, I can help myself. But if we have unity, right? So look, unity versus division. Now, if you believe that my growth is not good for you, then that means we are divided, right? So that means I'm going to have to get into maintenance mode so I can conquer that ass, you know what I'm saying? Because I got to keep going, because I can't get into the stagnant state, you know what I'm saying? I got to stay in that flow, you get what I'm saying? Because if I get in that stagnant state, somebody going to come for mine. I can't let nobody come for mine. They ain't got to come for it. They got systems already put in place to get mine. So what I got to do, I got to operate from a system to make sure I keep getting mine. You get what I'm saying? I'm battling against that system with my system. You know what I'm saying? It's us versus them. You versus whatever outside of you trying to come take from you. At the same time, you got to hold on to what's yours, and you got to have some respect, some economical respect, just respect in general, self-respect, economical respect, respect in general by setting the boundary, saying, I'm going to stay in that flow state to get mine, I'm going to operate from a point of maintenance. This is how I maintain, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that I can conquer and get what I got to get. So that's conquer versus maintenance. That's the consequences from the policy. So just like the war, it might be negative for this country that's way bigger than this other small country to go take theirs, but guess what? You was an easy target. So we came and took that from you, know what I'm saying? What you gonna do about it? We gotta stay in that flow state. You can fight back, or you can go try to team up with somebody else under unity, and now both of y'all can try to come for the bigger guy, but guess what? We might come take both of you. They might not want to go to war with us like you want to go to war with us. So guess what? They gonna let you do that on your own, because they trying to make sure that they can stay in their flow state and stay with their economical growth, right? So they're gonna let you fight that battle on your own. So your best bet is to just give it to us. We can work out a deal so we can take your resource. We call that taxing that ass. It's us taxing you, you know what I'm saying? And that's how they go. So that's anger for you right there. I show you.